us as women will feel something in our spirit that is telling us, like, this person isn't right for me. This isn't the person that I'm supposed to be with. And then people from the outside looking in, they'll look at the situation not knowing the person as well as you do, only on the surface level, and be like, why would she leave that good man? That was a good man, Savannah. Why would you leave him?
You don't know this man.
Exactly.
But what I was saying, though, is that I feel like people are being duped when they are being fed a certain narrative. It's like you aren't even exercising critical thinking. Like, how about like the full picture of something instead of just a clip? Like, you don't know me. You don't know what I smell like, what I'm thinking about this person, how on the first date, this is the same person who jokingly said, I'm a kill you.
I think the problem is it's too much social media. It's too much of people listening and following the wrong people. It's too much of you worried about what somebody else is thinking as opposed to you using your common sense and paying attention to the person that you're dating. So if you go on a first date with somebody, the world don't have to know about that. Why would social media be on the first date? They shouldn't even know who you're dating or courting or whatever. So if you go on a date with a guy, you supposed to pay attention to what the guy is saying, listen to what he's looking for, look at his actions and all of these things when you're dating somebody. So that if his actions and his mentality is what you're looking for and y'all are on the same page, you pursue that. If for some reason it doesn't work out, then you move on. But everybody shouldn't be privy to that. Everybody shouldn't know who you're dating from day one to day, however many dates you go on. That's the problem right there. You're allowing too many people to enter into your business. And so then they start implanting certain, information or things into you that is not really the truth and start making you question what's going on. You're questioning things based off what they're telling you versus what you actually see. So this is why you don't allow a bunch of people into your business, because they can deter your mind or, deter you from certain things based off of their feelings. They don't know what you're saying with the person. These people just make assumptions based off of short little clips. Oh, I can tell he probably don't really like her. They say that about every man. If you get in an argument with your man and you post it, they're going, he don't really like her. And they assume, he don't really like you, so you need to leave him ASAP. They don't really know the full picture. And I think people do that on purpose to get that reaction. But then when it backfires and it causes a rift in your relationship, now you're lost and confused. But I just think, no, you shouldn't have a bunch of people in your business like that, because it's not helpful. It's not beneficial. And so I just think, once again, I think people are just moving in a way that is not conducive for healthy, stable relationships, period. And then they wonder why they can't find somebody, because y'all going into it with the wrong mindset, wrong intentions. And then you allow the public in and skew your view of things and start making you think, oh, well, maybe they're right. And maybe I shouldn't do this. If he don't buy me $1 million ring, he's got to go. You know what I'm saying? Because society and people on social media told you, girl, he should get you a more expensive ring. Why he's doing the bare minimum. Oh my God, you should leave. Because once again, it's a single people who don't have somebody in their corner. They don't have a man. They don't have a husband. And then they want you to be like them. Once again, hate what you can't have. Let's continue.
They're going to be mad at me saying this. But I also feel like that American dream has been sold to us. And women are just now figuring out that maybe that's not for me. Oh, go to college, you marry somebody, the white picket fence, and marriage happily ever after. When you're a successful woman and you've accomplished so much on your own, a lot of times they don't have much to add to you. So unless you are making me happy, I feel safe around you. I feel good. Right. I don't care on paper how good you look, because my life looks good without you. If I feel better without you, even if you are a good man, I'm okay without you. Yeah. And we have figured that out. We figured out how to make money. We figured out how to purchase homes. We figured out how to have these bomb-ass careers. And it's like, okay, we're good. Yeah. And they are hating that. So instead of them being happy for us and cheering for us that we have figured this out, they're like, oh, but you're 30-something. You've never been married. You ain't got no kids. Babe, you can never make me feel bad about my life.
Yeah. And then there are people who have been married and maybe it didn't work out, or God forbid might have lost their spouse and things, and they wind up single parents. And so I just kind of feel like it's so much disrespect around single people, single parents, and I feel like it's just weird.
It's very weird.
Yeah, people are single for different reasons, and it's best that we are healthy and why we're single.
And then you said, like, especially your mental health. A lot of times they be like, oh, you with this good man. Y'all don't know what goes on behind two closed doors between two people. But I feel like they only do that to women. Like, if women are in their 40s and single or they haven't had kids, they're like, oh, what's wrong with you? But when a man is 40, they're like, oh, he got money. Oh, I know he's a hot commodity out here. And it's just like, why is that?
Yeah.
It's so weird because a lot of men...
Because with men, with them getting older, they look at it like, oh, you're in your prime as a man when you get to your 40s. When you start getting the salt and pepper and you start aging, you ain't in the prime of your life. And realistically, too, like most men don't become extremely successful until I think they're about 40.
Yeah.
So
I really think it's the 50s.
it's like
their
40, the 40s and 50s. Yeah. So it's like for them, as they get older, it's looked at as, oh, you in your prime. With us as women, the older we get, we damage good.
Yeah.
Could never be.
Exactly.
Never.
Could never be.
Well, I mean, it's not just it's looked at that way. That is what it is. I mean, women, when you're in your 20s, if I'm not mistaken, that's when you're in your prime. It's a biological thing. It's not just, oh, that's what they're saying. It's the truth. And anybody who's looking at that, you know, and I wouldn't say that you're damaged goods as you get older. I wouldn't say that. I personally wouldn't think as a human being, as a woman that's older. No, I wouldn't say anybody is considered damaged goods. I just think that when it comes to dating, if you're still 40, 50 years old and you're single as a woman, it's going to be more difficult for you to find a man to want to commit to you and marry you, because most men want to have a family. They want to have a family. So they're not only looking at you to be with, they want to build a family. They want to create a family. And usually by the time you're 40s and older, it becomes more difficult to do that. That's why women have a biological clock. That is part of the reason why you're in your prime in your 20s, because those are the optimal years to start a family. And I think people are just looking at the superficial way. They're not looking at it for what it really is. It's not a made up thing. It's an actual biological way of life. Let's continue.
That's the propaganda.
Yeah, it really is. It's truly propaganda, because I feel like if we're not happy in a relationship, they make you feel like, oh, you're being ungrateful. You're being ungrateful. But if a man leaves a situation, a man can have a woman who's good on paper, right? She's successful, she's beautiful, and they're like, oh, she got too many college degrees. I know why he left that bitch. She's probably a know-it-all.
Yeah. And I thought it was everything to have a house, to have just be taking care of myself and all of these things, all of these ambitious goals of mine that I've been able to achieve. I thought that would be attractive. And in meeting men and dating a lot of successful men, none of them would ever talk about how exciting it is that I've invested in properties, or would ever even want to come to see my house or at all. It was very much so, no, just come over here, or you know, it felt like all my accomplishments were minimized.
Wow.
And so I realized, I don't know what I was thinking growing up, thinking that like me being accomplished and independent would attract other successful men, or successful men, and just realizing, wow, I think it deters them.
Yeah. It does.
That's crazy.
Yeah, because that's for you. They understand that you've accomplished something for yourself. That's for you. And then most women use their accomplishments as a grandstand to try to belittle a man. And if a man is much more accomplished than you, usually men are taught that you need to be accomplished. You need to have something, especially if you want to take on a family. That's what men are taught, that you need to provide for a family one day. So you need to make sure you work hard and build yourself up so that you can provide for somebody else. Women are successful for themselves. And maybe if they have kids, of course you got to take care of your kids, but they don't incorporate a man into their success. They're successful. They're taught to be independent of men and take care of yourself. So when you get your own house, when you get your own this and your things, that's your accomplishment. You're going to hold tight to that. And you don't want to let it go, which I don't think you should. But what I'm saying is, as a man who was taught early on that he needs to provide for a potential family, that does not benefit him, because you don't, and the money you make don't benefit the relationship because you don't want to share it. And because you worked hard for yourself, you're selfish. So women making money, they are selfish. Men making money have to think about an entire family because that's what they were taught. You got to be the provider for your family. Women aren't taught to provide anything for a man. They're taught to provide for themselves. So that's where there's a discrepancy, because if you are successful, but you understand, you know what, I want a relationship. I had to take care of myself. I couldn't just stand out here and be homeless. So I had to take care of myself, and I just happened to do a good job at it. But I do want a husband one day, and I want a man, and I know that I need to work with a man. And that way, when you coming into it, even if he's able to take care of everything, but you're coming in with a loving, compromising mentality, not this selfish, entitled, independent mindset, but like, you know what? Hey, I got money. He got money. Let's put it together. Let's build on it. I love him. He loved me. Let's do it. That will get you somewhere. But you're coming into it with this independent mindset. What I got is my shit, and I'm not doing. I be goddamn if you gonna do that. When a man is coming in saying, "Oh, he wants to share his," because that's what he was raised to do. If what's his becomes yours, then what's yours becomes his, and that's what they don't want. See, it's all good as long as the man has the majority, because you can benefit from that. But when you have something, women don't want to compromise with what they have, but they want you to compromise on everything that you have. And that's what men are realizing, and that's why they don't want no parts of it. Let's continue.
It intimidates them.
I agree with that, because I used to feel that way too. Like, I used to think, he don't care that I got my degree. He don't care that I'm successful. He don't care that I got my own shit.
Hell no.
I pay my own bills. No, men do not care about that. I always say, just get rid of your shit, because they like girls without anything.
Wow.
Just get rid of your shit.
Yeah.
If you want a man that bad, I don't want one that bad. I'm keeping my shit.
Can we really talk about it? I'm not getting rid of my big dogs.
Right.
They say that's another thing that scares men away. Like, okay, fine.
Yeah.
I want a farm man anyway.
Yeah.
I want cows. Like,
Yeah.
I need you to like big animals.
It's so crazy because it really is hard to find a man that can just really support you and be happy and be like, look at my girl. Like, you think that everybody wants to praise Jay-Z and Beyonce, but a lot of y'all could not be Jay-Z sitting there in the crowd cheering for her like that.
That's
They
deep.
can't.
That's
and Jay-Z
deep.
be like this.
Yeah,
Happy as
no.
hell. And y'all be praising, but y'all not Beyonce. Okay, but you not Jay-Z either.
I think there are men who definitely cheer on their wives. Yeah, what are y'all looking for? Y'all want, and I think a lot of people want success too soon. You want all of the accolades and the benefits of something in the beginning where you're trying to build a relationship with the person. Y'all got to understand that a lot of these things, it happens over time. Like, you just can't meet somebody and be like, oh, they just got to be head over heels and for you and all. No, you got to get to know the person. Like, come on, like, y'all, they're so used to superficial situationships. You don't understand what it takes to build a relationship for real. Like, come on, y'all are jumping the gun. You want everything just popcorn quick. Like, boom, you need to be doing all this for me right away. No, he don't know you. Like, y'all, that's the whole point of getting to know each other. So you can establish something and you build that over years. They don't want that, child.